Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather, and I've got a couple special items that we're going to be offering as a private stock pre-order today. There's several different wallet styles that we made in two different leather choices. In my hand here, this is Brown Nut Dublin, and we also have some Stone Horsehide Latigo. So let's go through each and every one of the wallets that are available for pre-order today. First up, Brown Nut Dublin on a Frank the Enforcer. This is our minimalist card holder. We've got two card slots on the front. We also have one larger card slot in the center that will fit US dollars folded in half, and a card slot on the back. You might be able to see on this Dublin the incredible grain texture and figuring that is happening here. Really special pieces of Brown Nut Dublin for this private stock event. If you're not familiar with the Dublin leather, it actually happens to be our most popular leather choice. English tan Dublin, in fact, is the most popular leather in color. But also, every time we put up items in Brown Nut Dublin, we seem to get a lot of positive response. A couple months ago, we've received some really nice Brown Nut Dublin and decided to make 5 different wallet styles. So the second of the 5 is this here, Bugs Moran. Check out the figuring on that. Really intense piece of grain on this Bugs Moran. You can also see the color start to change down the spine of the wallet. This is what we call the burst effect on the Dublin. We're displacing the hard wax that has been finished onto the grain layer, and we're revealing a little bit of these lighter undertones. So on the Brown Nut Dublin, it's almost like this dark coffee color. That's very, very nice. So the vertical card holders, this is where you insert the cards from this direction as well as underneath here. We've got little hidden slots underneath each of the 2 stacks. The other thing I wanted to mention is we've got cream color stitching for all of these. And we've been finding recently that cream thread seems to go great with just about everything. So this wallet here, our most popular style, again, in Brown Nut Dublin. Incredible figuring on this piece too. Like I said, some really special pieces of Brown Nut Dublin. And this is where it gets extra special. We were able to find some naturally thin pieces of the brown nut here, and check out how nice that is. A really clean look with brown nut on the outside continuing to brown nut on the inside. 2 more Brown Nut Dublin pieces to show you. This is our standard traditional Bugs Moran. So you can see this one also has that incredible grain figuring on the outside, really nice color depth with the lighter brown underneath and a darker brown on the surface. This is what I was talking about with the card holder. So we've got 2 card slots on each side. This is the big difference between the vertical card slot. On the vertical oriented card slots, I actually noticed is slightly difficult, or a little bit more difficult to use than our traditionally oriented card holders. These have a large thumb notch, and it's just really easy to get stuff in and out of here. And the last Brown Nut Dublin wallet that we're going to look at is kind of similar to the Bugs Moran, but this is our Tony the Ant wallet. The big difference between those 2 wallets is this has an exterior bill slot on the outside. The Tony the Ant is also slightly wider. We modified that just a slight bit to more easily access the cash on the outside. So you can see it's just a little bit longer. We found that it was just a little bit more easy to get cash inside and out of this one. Let me give you a look at the interior of this Tony the Ant. Now let's move on to the Stone Latigo. These are all made from horsehide, so they're naturally thin. And on this wallet style here, Frank the Enforcer, those thin pieces of horsehide are just about perfect for this design. I actually like the Frank the Enforcers and the Giant of the Foxes when the leather is just a little bit on the thin side. Let's talk about Stone Latigo. This is the most gray color that you're going to find on a piece of veg tan. I should clarify, the Stone Latigo is actually combination tan leather, so it's got a chrome base tannage with a vegetable retannage, and every veg tan leather that you come across is tanned with tree barks, and a lot of the times those tree barks will make the leather slightly brown, so getting a gray out of a brown is very difficult. This is the most gray color that we have come across from Horween without having them apply any paint. If you're looking for a veg tan aniline leather, a very naturally appearing leather, you're not going to find a gray that is more close than this, and that's because there's so much tree bark in every piece of veg tan leather, and they start to look a little bit like trees. So it starts off a little bit brown, and getting back to that gray color is actually impossible without using paints, which takes away from the natural character. So Stone Horsehide Latigo here, incredible grain character, as well as a really nice light brown sort of gray color. Another Bugs Moran to look at in the Stone Horsehide Latigo. You can see some of this incredible texture and figuring on the horsehides. A lot more natural character we find on the horsehides. It has much more of a pronounced grain as well. And the drying method that was used at the tannery to tan the Latigo is a drying method called pasting. So you actually get a little bit more of a compacted grain when they paste the Latigo, as well as a little bit more body. I noticed that pasted leathers tend to be a little bit more dense and firm, which is why I love it so much. And on the inside of this Bugs Moran, this is the vertically oriented card holders. So we've got 2 card slots on the left with a hidden card slot underneath each of these sides. And we also have our traditional Bugs Moran with the 2 card slots on the left and right. On the traditionally oriented card holders for this Bugs Moran, I actually noticed that you can fit about 4 cards inside of each of these slots. If you start off with 4 cards, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to slim down to 2 because you've stretched out the leather. The leather will conform and mold to whatever you put inside of it. So if you stretch it out and molds to 4, it's gonna have a hard time snugly holding in 2 cards. We also have a Johnny the Fox in the stone Horsehide Latigo, and this is a real beauty. I really like this pale brown, slightly gray color. Stone is about the right color name for this one. Really great texture on the Horsehide Latigo here, and the reason I'm drooling over this one is because I just love the interior. Check that out. Really cool texture for the front 2 card holders on this particular Johnny the Fox, and it's got that really clean look with the continuing piece of stone on the outside as well as stone on the interior. And some customers that have worn this leather have sent us some photos of how well this leather wears in. You might be able to see on the edges here just how nicely darkened and polished it becomes. This is from us expediting that patina process. We like to hand finish and wax, burnish all of the edges for every one of these wallets. So if I can dig up that photo, I'd love to show it to you. And if you've got a photo of a stone horsehide piece, we haven't made much of these, but definitely send it my way. Another stone Horsehide Latigo piece. This is our one-shot card case. I really like this particular model as a front pocket minimalist design, and we'll give you an opportunity to check this out for yourself. All right, we're all about sharing leather with people. Another stone Horsehide Latigo piece here. I think this one is definitely worth experiencing for yourself. Like I mentioned, that pale brown gray color is a really unique sort of thing. You don't really see aniline leathers in this shade. So we've got Tony the Ant here with that exterior bill slot with 2 card holders on the left and right. And the last one up, Fat Herbie. This is our flagship wallet design, the only Fat Herbie in the private stock pre-order today. Before I forget, these are going to take us about 4 weeks to make. Fat Herbie here is really, really nice in thinner leather as well. And a lot of people come to us wanting thick leather because there's a perception that thicker leathers tend to be better. And that's not always the case. I've found really nice leathers in both weights. I've found really nice heavyweights and really nice lightweights. The big deal is for us is everything that we make is guaranteed. So if a thin piece of leather rips, we will repair or replace that wallet for you for free. So there really shouldn't be any concern about the thickness of the leather giving you a longer lasting and more durable piece. In fact, last week I did an interview with Skip Horween about some work shoe butts, and we offered some Fat Herbies in that black work shoe butt, and he was explaining to me something I didn't know. He was saying that horse hides are naturally more abrasion resistant than steer hides. It's got a little bit more of a tougher grain. So even though this horsehide is naturally thinner, it is definitely tough, and it's gonna give you a really, really nice patina. Be on the lookout for that Skip Horween video. It's a really great interview I did with him. We're actually working on some more horsehide work shoe butts to offer into some special private stock items before I release that video. If you have any questions about the items that we saw here today with the brown Nut Dublin and stone Horsehide Latigo, definitely let me know. Leave me a comment on which one of these you might be picking up. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.